Morning. Let me ask you this. How do you get up in the morning? When your alarm goes off, do you think, oh no, I didn't get enough sleep? Oh no, there's not been enough time. Are you complaining just about even getting up in the morning? Oh, I'm so tired. Do you understand what it is that you're doing when you say things like that? You see, there's two ways to think. One is through love and through fear. Okay, so when you look from love, then everything is abundant and there's always enough and you've had enough and whatever is. When we're looking through the track of fear, that's lack. And lack is there's never enough. And being tired means you haven't got enough energy. And if you keep saying that to yourself, then that's what you end up with. Isn't it funny? Because then you're tired all day. Whereas, like I woke up this morning and I could certainly feel it. But I don't think that. The first thing I go is, in fact, it's actually Ho'oponopono. I don't know if anybody knows about that, but you can check it out. You might want to stop this and figure out what I said, because I remember the first time I heard it, Ho'oponopono. And it's I start the day with, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Imagine starting your day that way, forgiving yourself for anything that you've thoughts that took you away from who you really were. Yeah? Imagine that. One of the things that I asked in one of the groups was, were we born in sin or were we born perfect? And you know what I heard about and really understood about the word sin? It actually comes from the word SYN. And that means whenever people were, shooting arrows at the target, and if they missed the target, it was a sin. Yeah? So they were off the center. And it was a sin. SYN. And that's where sin comes from. So sinning isn't about, this is my truth, whatever truth you want to have. And here's the thing, listen, what the heck do I know? When we're on the other side, we'll all have a good laugh about this, won't we? And just go, remember when you thought that? But here's the thing, anything that I say to you is because I know it'll resonate with you. And if it resonates with you, it'll make you feel lighter. And you go, yeah, wouldn't that be really good to believe? Who cares if it's true or not? But does it make you feel better? Yeah? Not whether it's true or not, does it just make you feel better? Because what is truth? If it's true, like the sun comes up every day, it doesn't come up, you know what I mean? Um, but that's true for everybody. But is it true for everybody that smoking kills you? Well, no, it's not, because my granddad got on to 94 before he had a brain aneurysm, and that wasn't to do with smoking. So, what is it? What is truth? So, you find your truth. Yeah. So if you think that you're born in sin, then you're making up for yourself the whole way through your life. And that means we're born in sin and you're born in lack. And we actually are born separate. So one minute we're in this beautiful place where we're beautiful souls. Who knows? This is my story. Then we come through into these bodies and we come separate because we're in separate bodies. Whereas before, we were all one, and it looks like we're separate here. So in our minds, we think that we're separate, but actually, we all know that energy is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. So everything is all one and is all made from the same thing. And so if we think that we're separate, we're missing the mark. That's the sin. But to think that we're all one and to be centered in that and to come from that place, then isn't that feel so much better than the thinking that, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that? You see, so I asked the question, are you born in sin or are we born perfect? And my truth is that I'm born perfectly Sheena. Not perfectly you, because you're perfectly you. You're just perfect as you. The Bible says God knows every hair on your head. You were created, you were chosen. You probably chose to jump into this body and have these life experiences. So does that not feel better? Does that not take the pressure off having to be somebody, having to do something, having to be somebody that you're not? Isn't it better just to be you? And that's good enough, isn't it? Don't you feel the space with that? So I remember having a conversation with somebody one time, and we had this conversation. This was a while back, and he said, "No, we were." I said, "We were born perfect." I choose to believe that. And he says, "No, we were born in sin. It says it in the Bible." And I didn't understand. I thought, well, why does it say it in the Bible? But obviously, then as I've started to study theology and what's going on there, then it was just like, oh, I get it. Yes, it looks like we were born in sin because we were born separate. And to think that we're separate from this wholeness of the energy that's in the universe, call it God, call it source energy, call it universal intelligence, call it formless substance, whatever it is that you want to do. If you think that you're separate from that and separate from the next door neighbor, then that's where we become in competition with each other, thinking you're right, I'm wrong. So that there's no point in having a conversation about it, to be honest. So I just said to him, listen, you think you're born in sin, so you're always in lack and wanting to make up for it. If I think I'm born perfect, then I'm choosing to believe that I was born abundant because there's nothing else to be or get or have. So which feels better? Which feels better? Yeah? Does this feel lighter to think that I'm perfectly me? Or does it feel lighter to be born in sin? I don't know. Like, that's entirely up to you. But here's the thing, I just said, listen, I tell you what, you live your life your way. I'll live my life my way. Then when we get to the other side, we can have a good giggle about it as to who was right. Because I don't think there is a right. Yeah? Just find your truth, your way. Think if you've got two decisions, if somebody asks you a question or say, should I leave my job or should I stay in my job? Yeah? Think of them both, put them both in your hands here like this. Or you're in a relationship, leave or stay. But you must be you mustn't be anything, it's just easier to be in a relaxed state and to feel what's going on in your body and ask yourself the question. And then which one feels lighter? Go with the lighter one. Yeah? We were watching Bob last night. It was so funny. I loved one of the questions. So question and answer with Bob. And one of the questions somebody was being very intellectual about. And when you read the question, you didn't even understand it. And back in the day, I used to think, oh gosh, it's me. I don't understand. I'm stupid. But now I just look at it and I go, my thought was, what the heck? You're trying to be smart in a question. And so really the question, and Bob even just went, you're trying to be too intellectual here. I tell you what, lighten up. Just lighten up. Stop being so serious. So there you go. Lighten up. Don't be so serious today. Yeah? Do you know what? I had a whole different thing going on. I thought, what can I talk about? And I thought, I'll talk about paradigms. And I've got my little 8 questions that warrant attention. But you know what? We'll do this tomorrow. So today's just about that. Something for you to think about, something that could just change your whole day. Rather than thinking, lack, I'm not enough and I've got to make up for myself. Why don't you just realize how abundant you are and that you're perfectly you? See how the day goes and see if you can pass that on to somebody else. Can you imagine you feeling like that? Meeting other people, speaking to other people on the phone, doing Zoom calls, that you could transfer that you are enough to whoever it is that you're talking to. You are enough because you're you. How wonderful. Have an awesome day. Short and sweet this morning. See ya. Bye.